Hello, it's Jimmy here. The Rileys have here a Mercedes Sprinter. Okay, so this has a DPF issue. Let's start the engine up. Engine light is flashing. I'm going to use the King Bowlan K8 for this. K8 Pro. This is. I'll put a link in the description where you can buy this from. I noticed in the comments of my last videos, I've got a couple of people asking me, can I show some of the King Bowlan models. So we have this one here to use today. Okay, we're going to hit Intelligent Diagnose. Okay, yeah, we're going to do a health report. See, we have 3 faults there on the engine system. Right, we're finished doing the scan. We have P2463-09. Particle filter is too high. P0101-62. Hot fill mass air sensor has a malfunction. The offset value signal is too high. Offset value, so that, it could mean we have a leak on the air system. Could mean we have a blocked air filter. A few different things like that. So, or we could have a dodgy airflow sensor, of course, but it's rarely ever that's the case. Let's go into the engine here, see if we can find some live data that will give us some help. Data stream. Engine running at idle. Right, we're just going to select everything here for a minute. Right, first of all, what I'm looking for is engine off, ignition on, and then we should have boost pressure and atmosphere pressure should be relatively the same, but they're not. Right, let's start the engine back up. Intake air temperature. Contamination of the air filter 0%. See, a lot of cars are fussy as well. If these Mercedes, if you don't reset the hot film after you've done an air filter, once it reaches 0%, it will try. It can give you an engine light up, basically. So I'm just trying to see what else we can find here. Smooth running, charge, air system, exhaust. Let's just select all of that. Let's hit the all values, air mass per cylinder, charge, air temperature. Right, well, this one looks way off, minus 681 on the DPF pressure there. Let's hold the revs up. It's going higher as you, so now it's minus 876. Let's let that idle down. So we're getting readings going in the opposite direction. So maybe the DPF hoses are on the wrong way around. Right, bonnet open. Just have a quick sort of visual around first. Got some oil leaking from the rocker cover area, maybe. Just see if we can see any sort of signs of wet around the boost hoses there. Just have a look around the intercooler area as well to make sure that that's not wet. I mean, you can usually see if the intercooler or any of the hoses are leaking because it would be wet. So we'll have a little look underneath. So that's nice and dry, and so is the other side. Right, what I can't seem to find on the live data is just an actual reading of the airflow sensor, which is not helpful. Yeah, probably have a look at the air filter, see if that's blocked. Right, well that air filter is distorted 100%. You see the waves? It's going like this. That should be straight. So when you see it bending like this, it's struggling to get air. So it may not look that dirty. Let's get it out, but it's definitely struggling to breathe there. Yeah, it's years old. Look at that. You said this has recently had a service, has it?
Sorry?
It's recently had a service?
Saying recently, 4 months, 5 months really.
This doesn't look like it's been changed in a few years.
Not very good, does it?
Okay, next we're going to use some smoke and we're going to pressurise that into the engine just to make sure that we haven't got any leaks. So we're just going to seal that off. Just like that. And we'll give that a few minutes. So where this is sort of bending out of shape, it's struggling to pull air through here, and then obviously the engine isn't getting as much air as it likes to, and then you've got the correction factors that are on the diagnostic tool there. So if it's getting a bit less air, the ECU will sort of try and counteract it with less fuel, but there's only so far it will go out of range until it gives up. So a new air filter, and then just pressurise the system. I don't think there's any leaks, but we'll just do it anyway. Everything looks dry. You can usually see from miles away if you've got a boost leak anywhere. Okay, we can't find any boost leaks, so next thing is we're going to do now is have a look at this DPF pressure sensor. It looks original, it's never been off, so I don't think anyone's been fiddling around with the pipes, putting them on the wrong way around or anything, but we're going to need to get this off and have a look at it. Okay, so we're going to try and have a look at this sensor if we unplug the plug from it and then recheck what the numbers are saying. Right, so that's unplugged. We don't really have any difference there. Okay, so I do have a replacement sensor here in the glove box, so we just match them up, make sure they look the same. See, this one's had the part numbers rubbed out because it comes from aftermarket company, Febi. It is an original sensor, but they just take off the Mercedes branding. Okay, so now we're going to use multimeter. That's the model number of this one. There's the FNRIS, whatever you call it, 2C53T. Check our pins, obviously just very, very lightly touching them. We don't want to open the pins by pushing these in too far. So we've got signal 5 volt. Okay, it's hard to show you with both my hands tied up, but we've got continuity on the earth. We've got signal and live 5 volts down here. So what's going on? Okay, the replacement sensor is still giving the same reading. So what I'm going to do is go to the teaching process and this one maybe. No, we're looking for the actual DPF pressure sensor, not the DPF. Right, well, we've got the air filter one here for a minute. Let's just do that. We're going to put a new air filter on in a minute. Okay, so what I've done is I've went back to the start, and there's 2 options on this. You can pick from 2013 onwards or up to 2013. This is a 2013, so I've just changed it to up to 2013 model. Now we've got a bit more information. So we're just going to select everything here. It looks much better as long as we're getting everything up. Alright, fill level of the DPF, 234%. Where is the pressure sensor? This one. Let's select all that again. Right, so that was a bit confusing because now we've got the correct reading on that sensor. Let's just connect this back up for a minute. Stick the pipe in the hole. Okay, start the engine up. Right, you see how that can get confusing? Got black on my nose, but clicking on the wrong model of van gave me the wrong readings. So, but quickly realised that obviously we'll go back and check it as the other model, because we weren't getting all of the information that we needed on here. So quickly there decided not to make any mistakes on that. Okay, so looking through here again, still we don't have any information on the airflow sensor, how much air it's reading as it goes in. I want to look at, but we can't see that. We have got that message on the dash there, exhaust filter. Right, we're going to get that sensor all back together. Well, no, we won't, because we're going to put the cleaning fluid in there, but we're going to get air filter in, put the cleaning fluid into the DPF. It's at 10 millibars. It's not stupidly high, but it should be sort of between 2 to 6 millibars. Reset the air filter, which we've already done, and then should be good to go. But yeah, the other garage, he's been to some other garage, he's done a fourth regen, which lasted a few days. The light came back on again, and then they said we'll have to change your NOx sensor. This van doesn't have a NOx sensor, so I don't know why they wanted to change it, because it isn't anywhere on the engine. This is a non-AdBlue engine, so it doesn't have a NOx sensor. And that is what an air filter should look like. All of the lines are straight. Okay, so into the DPF hose here, the one on the right side, just down there. We have our gun connected up with the launch UK fluid. That goes connected to the compressor. Right, DPF sits close to the engine on this, so engine running, squeeze our trigger and we'll put this fluid in. It's not coming out. Be a good idea to turn on the compressor. Okay, we'll let that build up to 8 bar of pressure. Now we can see we've got fluid flowing through. Probably use a new cabin filter as well. So just basically hold the trigger until all of the fluid's gone in there. Right, that's all done. Just give that a minute, let that pipe clear out, and see we're starting to see some smoke come out the bottom here. Okay, back in the vehicle now, we just hold the revs up and then we watch the pressure. So we want that below 50. Okay, now we need to do special functions, and this one, replacement DPF, otherwise you can't reset the fault code. Okay, next we have to do hot film reset, so that resets all of these. Okay, now we can clear the fault codes. We've got extra codes because of the airflow being unplugged, so now we can clear those. All codes are cleared. Now we go to our data stream again and we will check this one. See our DPF pressure there is down, soot content is reset. We've actually got the airflow sensor there. Couldn't find that earlier. Let's see, it's reading. So we've just done a test drive 25 miles or so. We've got an even lower pressure of 20 millibars now. Okay, so we'll come back and we just read the fault codes. 0. So that's it, all done. See you next.